Hey, thanks for watching. This is Joshua, founder of 3Web. I just want to take a few minutes and show you our new studio mode that we've been working on, and it's released now for everybody to use. So let's get to it and build a whole roadmap out really quickly here. So we're going to put in something as a sample here to just try out. So you have a couple ways you can speak to it. Let's just build something simple here. Let's build a stylish mechanic shop website. Stained animations, calls to action, and a lead capture form. We'll provide a webhook. Yes. So we can give it some instructions. Let's go in and start. So first off, let's just add a title, create the projects. So this will scaffold out your code base, get everything set up so the agent has the ability to look at the code. So it's going to make accurate tasks and plan accurate deliverables as we go in. So we'll let that cook for a second here. Awesome. Go into the next step. So this is an important one. Configure your contract. Studio Mode is really built for reselling projects. That's one of the biggest issues I found with a lot of these vibe coding tools is that they're not really geared towards people who want to resell these things. They're geared towards fast prototypes and quick builds. So the whole point of Studio Mode is to work off of tasks, not work off of prompts. So let's say we got 80 hours a sprint, that's 2 weeks. We can put in 80 hours, full weeks. Let's charge $45 an hour. Let's generate some deliverables. All right, so it's going to save us an architectural document into our notes. So each Studio Mode project is going to come equipped with all of the Agile tools that you need. It's going to have a Kanban board, a roadmap, timeline. It's going to create all the tasks in your backlog and everything. So let's go through. So we have an opportunity. We can look at the deliverables that it's suggesting we do. Looks perfect. So we can either add custom ones, we can edit existing, you can hit adjust and send an adjustment. In this case, we're going to accept because I'm pretty happy with these. So now it's going to go through each one and it's going to make them into tasks. And this is going to be a huge time saver. So for all you agency guys out there, this is going to be an absolute game changer for you. It's going to estimate the task based on the contract that you've put in. So for my other agency, what we do is we work on a lot of story points. So we'll charge a fixed monthly rate and you get so many points per the capacity tier that you're charged with. In a lot of cases, it's going to be an hourly based. So these are a nice blend of hourly estimates as well. So it's factoring in, hey, you're going to use AI to build this, but at the same time, it's going to blend that with a traditional human estimate as well. So it's kind of finding that sweet spot in between. So it'll come out fairly inexpensive, but still profitable. And this will keep everybody competitive. And as we go down here, so you can see each task has a set amount of hours that it's estimating. It has the hours for the deliverable up here. And once more, you are going to have an opportunity on each of these steps to go through and configure what you need to do. Coming down here, so now one cool thing while this is spinning is that there's an execution order in all these tasks. So every task has a numbered order of execution. It's factoring in dependencies, what tasks have to be done before others. Everything's going to be taken care of using Studio Mode. So this is going to be something a little unique to some of you guys who haven't used Agile work methodology before. But before AI, this is how we'd build projects. You'd have to plan all this out ahead of time. And this is going to eliminate a lot of what we call AI slop code. So when you go into a project, you have these layers of kind of asks that you do. So you start off, hey, I want to build XYZ. And then, okay, add a login page. Great. Okay, add this reporting page in, add this in. And so what happens is that the project's not planned properly from the start. So you actually are going to go in and plan this properly from the start. So the AI has the full context. It can see everything that's planned in the roadmap, in the backlog. So when it's doing a task, it's accounting for that. So it's not going to step on its own toes creating technical debt. It's going to actually deliver quality code and make sure that it has tests, everything. So like, for example, we can see here on the polished side, it's planning in accessibility audit. right? RA implementation, it's making sure things are responsive. It's gonna account for everything that you need it to do. So we're going through, everything looks pretty awesome, right? We got an appropriate amount of hours for stuff. So to build this project, it's estimating at $3,330. So that's pretty reasonable. So you guys, you can provide really good quality work. You can stay profitable and do it fast, and justify the work. If I just go into one of our competitors where you just dump in a prompt into the chat box, it's going to get really hard to justify a price tag to a customer because you're not, like, quote, showing your work. So what this platform does is allows you to show your work as a developer. And once more, we have the ability, we can give an adjustment. We don't need to, though. We're going to accept. So now it's going to plan into sprints. Once more, for those of you who don't know sprints, there's a few names. You can call it a milestone, a time block, a sprint, but it's basically a grouping, usually 2 weeks, that you're going to group tasks in to get them done in intervals. So a great way to do this if you're new and starting out is to bill your client based on each sprint completion, right? So you could the old way was, when I started doing this, 15 years ago, half down, half on completion. Then it kind of shifted into milestone-based billing. So then it's more like, okay, I finished X amount of tasks or this deliverable, and then I want to unlock that next stage of money from you. So we've got this done. So we've used up 2.6 build credits. That's not very much. So guys, we give 10 build credits away for free every week. Our enterprise plan comes with 3,000 build credits a month, and the solo plan at $39.99, or sorry, $39. It's going to come with 150 build credits. So you're going to have a lot of runway to build things here. Now let's go in. So we got our integrations. So we don't really need to integrate anything. We're going to provide a webhook after. This is where it'll recommend. So for example, if I have a backend, it's going to recommend that I use Supabase, Stripe, everything. It'll show up top here. In this case, it's a pretty simple project. It's not recommending anything. We just got to provide it with our N8N webhook at the end. So we can continue to the estimate. This stage here, what we can do is generate a branded estimate. So this is pretty cool. So I can put my client's name here. I can add my logo. I can choose my branding colors, and then you can create an estimate. And that document will be a multi-paged document that allows, and it highlights, your deliverables, your timeline, the task breakdown, the cost estimate. It even has a spot for your client's signature. You can pass that off to the customer, get them to agree to the project, and then you're in business, and you can start making money with 3Web right away. We're going to skip that. We don't need to do that. Obviously, we're just testing it out. So this is studio mode. So you notice it's similar to a lot of the tools we use. It's similar to our solo mode. The only difference is there's no prompt box. So that's not how this works. So when you come in, you get our starter template. You'll notice there's 2 modes, build and test. So once we have tasks ready for QA, they're going to show up here. And then build mode. So what you want to do is over here, we got these little controls for studio mode. So here's our main dashboard. You notice we got 74 hours total on the project, estimated $3,300. And this is where you're going to start to see tasks showing up. It's a main dashboard for it. The board page here, we don't have an active sprint. So the way you want to do first is you can check in here to your deliverables. So each deliverable is going to have all the tasks underneath, the total investment for these tasks, what's delivered, what's remaining. So you're going to track your roadmap here. You can flip over to a timeline, look at all this dependency graph. So you're going to see which tasks depend on which other tasks, etc. This is more for the AI to use. Some of your customers are going to want to see this, especially for more advanced projects. But for the most part, this is what you're going to track. There's these deliverables, and then you'll be able to give accurate information and reporting based on that. So we got over here, we got a wiki page, so you can add notes. So if I want to add in information, for anybody that's used tools like Claude Code or anything, they have their context MD. This is going to be very similar. So you can put in notes here. The agent has access to read any of these notes in their markdown format. And you can add any project information, stuff like that. If you include testing accounts, things like that, you can put here. So we're going to go in these lines here. This is the backlog. So to control the agent, first off, you're going to need sprints. So what you do is you can use the ones that they came with. And if you want to, let's say, add more to your project, so let's say, for example, we finish this off, the client wants more stuff, not a problem. You can create a new sprint underneath here, create a new time block, it's empty. And over here, what you can do is there's different types. There's a feature task. So this is something you're adding to the project, a bug fix, technical debt, research task, another just a general task. It could be office administration work, anything you're doing. You can add it here. So you just click, type in what you want, you click add, and then you can fill it out. So we could just put a test, add it here. Oh, it doesn't want us to add a test task here, so that's okay. We expect that. So we can come in here, let's delete that out. We gotta start this before we do that. But this is where you're gonna add new tasks, and all you gotta do is drag them over into your sprint block. You come up to the sprint that you want to hit up. In this case, we're gonna start with sprint 1, hit the button, hit start sprint. Easy as that. We go to the board, we see we got tasks here. So, and you'll notice over here on build mode, we have our sprint tasks available here to start executing. So you just hit the execute button, and rather than a prompt, it's going to load in your task data and start working away. So first off, so right here, it's noticing we don't have any context added to this yet, so it's going to start from scratch. It'll start writing its own. And the agent's going to start cooking away here. So if we retoggle this page in, you'll notice that this task is now in progress. So we can open it up, we can see the task details, what the task is about, the description, and then we can look at its acceptance criteria for testing. You can add comments. It shows that we have dependencies on this. And so once this is finished, what we can do is we can it'll throw it into the in review bin here. So once this is finished, this task will get moved automatically into the review bin, which will then show in QA mode. So anything that's in review or ready for review, you can activate it in QA mode. It'll move it to in testing. And then once you're done the checklist for the testing criteria, which we'll show you here shortly, then it'll put it into the done. And you just keep rinse and repeat, follow this process. So everything that you're doing, you're manually going through, you're going to validate each thing as you go. So here, we'll resume this, let it keep going. So you basically can sit back and watch your sprint go on autopilot. So it's a different way to vibe code. It's more like vibe engineering is what we're calling it, at least. And this is going to produce a much better result because like I said, it's planning to work out ahead of time. You're factoring in all the little pieces beforehand. So then you can really kind of craft something that's a lot more complex to build, especially when it comes to adding in stuff with a back end and things. Personally, if I'm building a small website, for a website like this, we're probably going to recommend you just use the solo mode, where it works like a traditional vibe coding platform. You have a prompt box, you chat with the agent, you can build it. A small website like this probably doesn't require having a whole Agile setup. However, if you're billing for it or you want to bill more for something, then this is going to let you show the value. And you can also invite users. So we could go up here, hit the share button. You can create a read-only link, okay? And then your customer can log in, and they don't have access to use the agent or anything, but they can view all of this tracking. And so that lets them follow the progress of your project and keep it going. So you can go in, we've got a report section here. So once we start completing tasks, you'll start bringing the burn down graph here down, and we'll start showing what burn down we have for the sprint. In a lot of cases that you'll find that we get these done pretty quick. So they'll be burned down pretty much within a couple days if you keep at this, because it doesn't take very long to do. So you can get a nice breakdown of what you're doing here. All right, so it's already started building. As you see, it's starting to set up a template and everything, and then so it's not just going to try to one-shot the whole site in off the first prompt. It's going to just really take its time, go through each task independently, and you'll watch a really amazing project start to come to fruition once you get it going. So we're building again. Let's see here. So it's building the responsive header component right now. And you'll notice you don't have to re-trigger it to go into the next task. It's just going to start cooking the whole sprint. So now it's on to the next task already. So you'll notice we got 2 in for testing here. So let's pause this for a second and go into QA mode. So now we have 2 QA items ready for testing. So we can toggle that down, and let's go into the first one. So set up application shell routing. So If we go back here, you'll notice that that task is now in testing. So it moves these statuses along for you. Now, what we can do, so user can visit links. Okay, so and if you want to type in, you can always hit this button here. This will open it up into a new tab. So we can go to the services, and go to home, and go to the about page, and go to contact page. Cool. So if you want to test the actual URL links, you can open it, use this button here. It opens it up into a full screen page. Now let's check that off. That's done. So clicking the browser back and forth button navigates between pages. So let's just pull this up here quickly. So pull it back, yep. Forward, that works. Cool. So you can check that off. Page refresh maintains the current view. All right, let's hit the refresh button. Services. Now let's try it up here. So if we go into services, hit the refresh button, stays on services. About, hit the refresh button, stays on about. Perfect. That task is ready to go. Now, if you did have an issue, so in some cases, and you'll notice, oh, you know what? That doesn't work like it's supposed to. Hit the bug fix button down here, and then a prompt shows up. You tell it what the bug fix is, what the problem is. You describe the problem you're having, what's not working, and you hit send. And then what it'll do is it'll retask and it'll start a new session with the agent, and it'll start working on that bug fix right away while you're doing QA. So you really can do the QA in real time. You don't have to submit it back to the developer. So our agency before AI, the devs would have to be working, doing a task. They'd hand it into the review bin. They'd go through the review. We would then have one of our QAs come in. They pull it out, assign it to themselves, load up the workstation. They'd have to get that branch pulled, start on that branch, and then they'd have to start working on the same type of testing criteria checklist. Oh, this doesn't work. So then they're creating a bug fix ticket, and then that gets reassigned back into either the sprint or the backlog. And then the developer has to go in, pick up that ticket, then go in, redo the work, resubmit it, and then it takes time and it's sucking up your money as an owner. So this is really quick. So we can complete this. Perfect. Okay. Right? Header is visible on top of all pages. I believe it is. Perfect. Navigation links are clickable and routing to the correct page. Yes, they are. The header background and text colors match the dark theme specification. Yes, they are dark theme. Header layout remains intact and readable when the browser is resized. Well, it has a nice mobile view here. And let's give it a pass. Complete. So we're caught up on QA. You can go back to development, and you can resume the sprint. And so it's going to keep going. Go in, you'll notice we have 2 items done. All right, we already have unlocked money here. We're 7% through the project. We can come down. We can see the burn rate's getting lowered, which is awesome because it's bringing us, we're still in day 1. So it's bringing us right down underneath. That's great. We can go in, you can toggle into the actual backlog, right? You can see what's estimated. When we're done this, we're unlocking $495 worth of the project right then and there. And we got some other tabs here you'll see. So there is one that's called releases. This will let you track anytime you want to release and you want to publish. This is more for after your project's done. You can track those. If you do want to manage bulk tasks, you do have the ability to go into this and edit all the tasks at once. However, in most cases, here we can go back. So in most cases, you won't really need to. But you do have the ability to go in here and edit any other tasks you need to if you want to make adjustments or adjust an estimate or something like that. So you can always go back in, make changes as you want, do bulk actions. You can check our board here. So we got that in ready. So we're almost through a whole sprint here, guys. This is really fast, absolute game changer. You can go back here to the home page. So yeah, we can use studio mode to make a lot of money, especially as founders, agency guys. So anybody that's doing SEO, content marketing, anything where you've had to hire a freelancer, this is going to be a game changer for everyone. It absolutely will save you time. It's going to help you produce better quality projects. And once more, and if you want the traditional vibe coding experience, just leave it in solo mode, and then you can do faster projects. However, studio mode is going to let you bill money. It's going to give you that estimate. It's going to give you that timeline, that roadmap, and take care of the entire project planning ahead of time. So thank you guys for listening. I look forward to the next video. We're going to show you some more tips, tricks, and show you how to build some cool stuff using 3Web. Cheers, everyone.